Hey y'all, I'm in Vegas and I'm going to be here for about a week. I came with my boyfriend. He has a conference and I just tagged along, so I'll be working from Vegas this week. And just wanted to let you know about an experience we had with Planet Hollywood. So we took the red eye from Atlanta into Vegas, and we were arriving at like 1:30 in the morning. So we wanted to make sure that we had a place to stay, because no place is going to give you an early check-in that early. We had reservations for Monday through Friday. So we came in at 1:30 in the morning on Monday. So I made a one-night reservation at Planet Hollywood. And so I got the reservation. I checked in early online. When I made the reservation, I put in the notes we would be arriving super late. We're taking the red eye. Our flight comes in at this time. When I did the early check-in took me through all these motions. It had me put in our flight information, and then it said basically, when you get to the hotel, go to the kiosk, put in this information and a copy of your ID, your passport or ID or whatever, and you'll get your room key. So I'm like, okay, we're good, no problem. So our flight came in, we got to the hotel, went to the kiosk, and the kiosk said, your room's not ready yet. Now, granted, I had gotten 2 emails from Planet Hollywood saying my room was ready. The last one I had gotten was about 11:30 p.m. We arrived maybe at 2 a.m. From the airport, and now our room wasn't ready. I already knew what that meant, but we went to the desk. There was only 2 people at the desk, and there was about 5 people in line. So by the time we got to the desk and told them, hey, tried to do the check-in at the kiosk, and it said our room wasn't ready. She looked us up and then said, I'm going to see if I can get you a good room. And then she left. And we were left at the front desk for like 20-30 minutes with no, I'll be right back, I'll be right with you, this is what's happening, whatever. I already knew. I'm like, they don't have any more rooms, and they're trying to figure it out. In the meantime, while we're waiting, a couple down the way called one of the people over to the desk, and he pretty much started going off on her about them not having any rooms left. And he kept asking, how are these people in line checking in? What's going on with that? And, you know, he was pretty upset. And she finally said, look, you know, I've done all I can do for you. I'm done. And then she went back to the back. So that couple walked away. Anyway, after that altercation, a couple of guys came over who I assumed were security or something. They asked if the people in line needed help. Somebody said they needed to check out, and he told them, well, it's only one person working the desk, so you can check. You can just leave, and they'll email your receipt to you if you want, whatever. They chose to stick around for a while. He came over to us and said, have you been helped? And my boyfriend said, well, partially. She came out here, and then she went in the back, and then she never came back out. And he's like, oh, you know, I apologize. She's trying to work something out, whatever. So he went back to the back. And again, like I said, we were out there. It had to be a good 30 minutes just standing around waiting at the desk. And then finally, the young girl comes out along with the security folks and the other girl that was had the altercation with the guy. They all came out at the same time. And so the young girl said, I'm sorry, but we're all booked up, but we have made reservations for you at our sister property, Paris. And then she gave us a piece of paper. And so my boyfriend said, how could this happen when we have a reservation? And she's like, yes, I'm sorry, you know, but we're so. And he's like, well, we had a reservation. What does it mean to have a reservation if your room isn't reserved? And then we checked in too. We checked in, and she's like, I'm sorry, you're right, you did. And then in the end, basically, they're like, here, take this piece of paper and walk over to the Paris hotel, and they'll give you a room. Not a lot of...
Walk over? You said, and to accommodate us, you should drive us over. This is not, you know...
Yeah, there wasn't really much done in the way of accommodations. I mean, I prepaid for the room. I mean, they already had the money. They weren't really as apologetic as we think they should have been. The customer service just wasn't at the level where it should have been.
Did you say anything about the lady that said she's back there trying to making the magic
Oh,
happen?
at one point, a girl came out. I guess she was coming off break. And I guess she knew something was going on because she kind of came out with an attitude. And my boyfriend asked her, you know, hey, what's going on? The lady left and hasn't come back. And then she said, well, and she didn't even look at him to acknowledge him. She was just pretty much like, well, she's back there trying to work magic for you.
Making the magic happen.
Oh, she's back there making the magic happen. And he said, well, I thought the magic happened at the point of the reservation. And she said, no, the magic happens when you get here. So that was the end of that conversation. So we walked over to Paris, which took about, about 10, 12-minute walk. 10, 12-minute walk over to Paris. We get to Paris in their sister property. We get there, and there are two women kind of milling around. Neither one of them looked at us and acknowledged that we were over there. The only ones in this huge lobby. So I stopped and asked one lady with red hair, is this the check-in? And she referred me to the black lady down the way, and she's like, she'll help you. Okay. So I walked down, and we're following, and the other ladies, she's kept walking past these stations, and we're following, and she finally stops at one, and we get there, and she's like, you know, can I help you? I give her the piece of paper that came from Planet Hollywood, and she's like, okay. It took her about 45 minutes.
Crazy.
About 45 minutes to get us checked in. I don't know what was going on with their system. At one point, she said she looked confused. She called somebody. A lady came out, did some stuff on the computer, then went back. And then she's like, she's good. And then she's like, okay. And then she said she had to make another call. I guess she called the lady again. And then it's, oh, our systems are turning over for the night. So you have to wait.
So keep in mind, wait a minute. So we get to Planet, don't put me on camera.
Okay.
We get to Planet Hollywood around 2 a.m., right? They get to the sister property. We get to the sister property of Paris at 3 a.m. when they are turning over. So we have waited an hour just standing at a desk and then walking over to the Paris to get to the registration desk there. Now, once we get to the registration there, that is another 45 minutes to an hour because their systems turn over at 3 o'clock and nobody can print a receipt. Nobody can create a key card during that time when the system's turning over. And how long that takes is crazy. But we're trying to check in, and all this stuff that we did and we planned prior to getting there because we're planning people to make sure that we've covered our bases, you know, and to get here, and they say that the things that we did to cover our bases wasn't enough. They weren't enough to do, and it is ridiculous. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's your video. I'm playing solitaire.
Yeah, just the fact that we followed their processes and they did not save a room for us was disappointing. The fact that the customer service was lacking was disappointing. The fact that they just didn't, it's just like they didn't acknowledge enough that they had messed up was disappointing. They sent us to the sister property, and then to get over there, and they're nonchalant and just kind of looking like they don't know what's going on, and nor do they care, was disappointing. So we're at the Paris now. We got a late check-in with check-out, which we had to pay for. We had to pay $40 for a late checkout. I didn't want to do it. They should have gave it to us complimentary, but
Exactly.
they didn't. So we're paying for a late checkout, and then we're going to go over to our next property, which is the Hilton, which I hope will be a much better experience. But yeah, pretty salty about that Planet Hollywood. That's
And also, it's not just Planet Hollywood. This is Caesar Palace owned. Planet Hollywood, Paris, all of these properties are part of
Caesar's Palace.
Caesar. So,
They need to do better.
Warned.
Train.
Be warned. And it's not even trained.
Train their staff better to treat customers better. And their systems. I don't understand it.
They're treating turnover at 3 o'clock, turnover of their systems like a turnover at a jail when somebody's trying to get out. Like we can't release anybody.
Staff change.
Yeah, this is a staff change. We can't release anybody from jail because and neither one of us are turn up people. We don't turn up on folks. But I was at a point. What did I almost turned up, didn't I? But anyway, I was at a point.
You didn't turn up. It could have been. You could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But security was out there, so
I mean, you basically told them, look, you know what was the point of going through the reservations and the check-in and doing what you said do if you're just going to give our room away? You know what, we followed your processes and now you and had our money, so you know, couldn't you at least hold the room since it was already paid for? And you had all our information. What's the point of gathering that information if you're not going to say, well, we have their money, they're coming, this is what time their flight comes in, let's hold this room or a room for them? And they didn't do that. So yeah, that's really sucky.
You can say it that way. I said another way.
So yeah, so now we're at Paris, which the hotel room itself is nice. It's nice and roomy. It's fairly clean. It could be cleaner. The bathroom has a nice big shower. It's not making up for the experience we had last night. It's just not. So yeah, so that's that. Planet Hollywood, really Caesar's properties, can't recommend it. All right, I'll check in with you guys later and let you know how the rest of the Vegas trip goes.
That's that bull.
See you later. Bye.